The plan is to have the students give us a presentation, 3 presentations, 5 minutes each. We're not going to put you on the clock, don't worry about it. And once we get through the presentations, we'll have a quick chat with the group here, and then open it up for Q&A across the board, and then try and come to a summary towards the end. From a description of what we're trying to achieve here, CBI ran some research last year with industry, and you wouldn't believe this, but qualification obtained 38%, that's what they're looking for out of a student. Basic literacy and numeracy was 44%, aptitudes for work was 71%, and attitudes towards work and overall character was 85%. There really is a shift on what people are looking for, and God love the students. There's a lot that industry needs to do to help them be more rounded as they come out to take a career in industry. The purpose of this session is to explore the confusing and sometimes contradictory landscape regarding the roles of attitudes and attributes in aiding young people's transitions into employment and enterprise, and to consider the following suggestion that the term soft skills is a misnomer which needs to be challenged. The hard truth is that soft skills lead to hard outcomes, and we are currently failing to recognise and act on their importance. The session will consist of a panel discussion with the leading experts, and then followed through with a Q&A. Rather than introduce the panel myself, I'd rather they just did a quick 60 seconds on who's who.
Okay, Dr. John Allen, I'm Policy Manager with SQA, specifically recently working on Curriculum for Excellence, but before that in developing HN qualifications in China, and before that I was a Deputy Principal in a further education college in Scotland. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Joe Wilson. I'm the Chief Executive of the College Development Network. The College Development Network looks after the development and staff training of all the colleges in Scotland, so all the staff that work in Scotland's colleges, we look after them. And prior to that, I worked at the Scottish Qualifications Authority, where I was Head of New Ventures, doing lots of things around technology. And a long time ago, I was a Senior Manager in a further education college.
Hello, I'm Peter Rush, and I'm the Chief Executive of Investors in People Scotland. We work with around about 1,200 organisations in Scotland to encourage them to be effective in leading and managing and developing people. And last year we developed Investors in Young People, which encourages and recognises organisations who are effective specifically in recruiting and retaining young people. And we have around about 200 organisations in Scotland now actively involved in that. I can't really remember what I did before Investors. It's about 17 or 18 years ago, so it was a long time.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
Aileen Ponton, I'm Chief Executive of the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework Partnership. We are the organisation in Scotland that looks after the SCQF, the framework into which all our qualifications are placed and levelled. So those of you who are delivering the new national 4s and 5s will be familiar with the fact that they've been placed at level 4 and 5 in the framework. We've been working quite a lot over the last 2 years, particularly with schools and other youth groups, around how we can develop and record and recognise achievement that is linked to informal and non-formal learning, so not the academic part of what we're doing, and celebrating that. And we've been working with a lot of individual projects around how we might do that, including some of the ones that are here at this conference, like Duke of Edinburgh, Prince's Trust, Outward Bound and so on. Prior to that, I'm afraid I'm also a reject of the Scottish Qualifications Authority, going back about 12 years ago.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, our students are from West College, Scotland. Kim Hamilton, Amanda Allen and Jason Dick. I don't know which sequence you're coming in here, but take it away and we'll
I'm not one of the students. I'll just do a quick introduction. My name's Grant Taylor, Head of Essential Skills in West College, Scotland. Paisley campus, Greenock campus and Clydebank campus is a merged college, a really large merged college. The students are all from Greenock campus, a part of the science courses, and they're going to explain their journey in education and also explain a piece of software we use in West College, Scotland to try and capture soft skills, and it's a self-reflection tool that they use not soft skills, I call it essential skills. And we call the tool, yes, your essential skills. And they'll hopefully bring that within their presentation as well. So without further ado, I'm going to pass on to Jason, who's going to go first and explain his journey today.
Hi, my name is Jason and I've just completed my HNC in Applied Science in West College, Scotland. I'm going to start, I'm told to discuss our journeys from obviously school up to college so far, so I'll just start here at school. And when I started in school I didn't really feel like I learned any skills, it was just a lot of knowledge. I was just told from a book, or I was told to read from the blackboard and just take it all in. So it wasn't really something I enjoyed. It didn't really tell you for the workplace. But I just seen it as more of a place where I could just go with friends and just have a laugh instead of like actually trying to develop myself as a person. But in school I don't actually feel that you're taught these skills. You're just, as I was just saying before, it's just a lot of knowledge based. You're just told to just, here's a book, just read from it kind of thing. After I quit school I went and worked for 2 years. I went from 16 to 18, I was working as a labourer for 2 years. And even when I was working, I started to develop skills that I hadn't gained in school, like leadership skills, how to communicate when you're in groups and stuff, how to organise yourself a little bit better. And I still enjoyed learning about science, but I didn't want to go back to college. I thought I was just going to be more, just here's knowledge, just learn from it kind of thing. But my sister was doing her nursing just now at university. She was describing it to me. She says it's a lot more than just sitting down in a classroom and just learning. They try to build you up as a person, so you can go in the workplace, you can get better at things, like just everything. You're just more of a complete person once you leave college. So I started at level 4, and now I've just finished my HNC, and I'm doing my HND. So I've been there for 4 years now, and I feel that in my first year I gained a lot more skills than all of my time at school. Well, for science anyway, they like to put it into your summarising, to analyse the information you're given in your psychomotor skills. But they also try and develop other things like leadership through the STEM ambassador, which is science, technology, engineering and maths. So they try and develop your skills there, whether it be like, because they'll put you into like groups. There's a thing just during the summer, it's the NASA, so you've got to help a group of young people design an experiment that will go up to the ISS, maybe I think it's maybe next year or whenever they finish the competition. But to do this, so it's when you go to the workplace, you will be working in science and research, you will be head of a group if that's what you want to do, or you will be part of a group. So they try and bring this in so you're confident you can take in people's, what they're trying to get across, you can analyse it and stuff. But they also do things like level 3 microbiology, which is just a qualification that will help you stand out from the group, so it's not just you're just your normal kind of sciences that you're learning. The staff in the college they're amazing, so they're always there for you if you don't understand what they're talking about. They will try and describe it to you in a different way, kind of thing. They're always wanting you to ask questions, like even just during the class, if it is a basic thing they're learning, they will try and ask you questions about it, even they'll say, and even if it does sound dumb to you, you don't understand it, just try and ask to put it across. But as I was saying before, in school, it's just, your teachers are just giving you a book, then you're just told to go home, look over it, and then just try and memorise it for when you do your exams. Also in school, but also in college, they give you a guidance slot, but the guidance slot in college, it's about you, it's not just about, it's how you're developing as a learner, how you're going to, just a lot of things they're trying to get across to you. So it is actually, it's our time, it's where looking in the last year, how you're doing, how you're developing, and where you can go and ask them if you need to develop on some things that you're not thinking or feeling that they're actually putting across. But the skills, with the qualifications that I'll gain, they will help me get the jobs, but it's the essential skills that I'm developing that will actually set me apart from everybody else that I'm in the interview with. So everybody might have an HNC or an HND or a degree, but it's these little skills that are going to set me apart from everybody else in that interview group. And the skills that I've gained in my first year, they don't just stop, they're every single year that you apply more of, and you start to, they'll make something more difficult, so you can always enhance what you've learned at the start. Like your summarising skills at the start, you might take like a page to summarise, then HNC it's like three or four lines, and you've got what you'd have in your when I first started now. The communication skills are always developing that, because in science you will be doing things like this, you will have to do your work in front of an audience. So, and one of the other things is I feel anyways that confidence, like if they try to make me do this when I first started, I would have backed it right at the start. There's something I would have done. I'd have been like, no, but when that's one thing they try and put across your confidence and stuff. And as Grant was saying with the Yes Board, this is something that he came up with, and him and Chris, I think. And it's you don't really think about the skills you're developing, but with this, it's a website that the college has got, and when you see you've got little things here, and it will show you your skills that you're developing and how you can, because sometimes you won't actually know that you're developing just because you're working in the class or you're just doing experiments, but until you actually look at them, you won't know what you're actually developing until it's there in front of you. But it is actually really good because you can reflect on what you've learned throughout the year, and there's graphs of everything I've actually done. There's graphs to see what you're really good at and what you're bad at, and if you're bad at it, you can go and ask the lecturers, how can I make what I'm not so good at, how can I improve on it, kind of thing, which is always good. And it's something that the science lecturers are actually really, they're motivated by, to try and, because they can teach you everything they want about the human body. If you can't communicate with people, there's no point in learning that kind of thing. But yeah, that's everything. That's my journey. Any questions?
Thanks, Jason. We'll take the questions at the end, once we get through the three, if possible.
I'll hand you over to Amanda. She said if there's any difficult questions, I have to answer them for her, okay? But I don't agree with that. She'll be able to answer them fine herself.
So yeah, hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm going to talk about my journey as well. So I left school at 6th year. I planned on going to university, but I didn't get the grades, so I applied for the college. And 2 years ago, I went and done the NC Level 6 Applied Science. So I received an award for passing. I got Outstanding Achievement and Hard Work Ethic. So then, the end of last year, I started my HNC Applied Science. And during my first term, I saw there was a job opportunity to become an apprentice with the college. So I applied, and luckily enough I got the job. So now I work part-time I get part-time student day release, and I work full-time as a lab technician in the college. And that's any photo of me in the paper. So throughout the college, in level 6 you do your work experience, and I decided to work as a lab technician. You can work with kids, but I decided don't know if I could deal with them, so I don't like them. So I went to work with the lab technician, and who now is the lab technician is now my partner in crime, kind of. So yeah, I have put my skills on the Yes portal as well, and this is important to me because it made me identify skills that I didn't know I had. Because I used to work in McDonald's as a crew trainer, and I didn't realise I was a team leader. I had to train people, but I didn't realise I had these skills until it's a drop-down menu, and it says, oh, you have your leadership skills, and just give me evidence of when this happened, and just put it in. So the way the college has helped me is I feel equal. In school, you're a bit intimidated by your teachers, and in college it was different. Like, you call them by their own name, which is scary. You don't ask to go to the toilet, there's nothing weird. So you're all at the same level, and they treat you the exact same way. If you're there because you want to be there, you're not made to go as you were in school. You're guided towards your future and what you want to do. In school, it's quite a lot. Your exams, to pass your exams, and I wasn't good in exam conditions. I had the right grades, predicted grades, and I just under the exam conditions I just buckled. Throughout college I've had a lot of opportunities as well as in school. So in school I got the Douglas Alexander Award for the most achievement in first year. I was a part of a peer reading group to help the first and second years that struggled reading to take time out of my lunch and sit and teach them how to read or help them with books that they were struggling with. I was a finalist at the CDN National Awards for Essential Skills, and we completed an experiment in front of people. Instead of just talking and having a presentation, we get everyone to interact with us. I was approached and asked to be a first aider for the college, so now when I'm working, I'm now a first aider for the college as well. I presented at the Essential Skills National event in Stirling, and I was a finalist in the Young Innovators Challenge in Edinburgh. We were the first ever college to get in to the Young Innovators, and we were the only college there. Everyone else was universities and business, all had their ideas for years, and we got there. I'm going to be in the NASA project in the next 2 weeks to help with the school kids to make experiments to go to the ISS, and I got a Gold Crest Award for my graded unit from making all my graded unit notes up. So STEM is science, technology, engineering and maths, and I got that through my work experience. But also outside of the work experience, they email you regularly to say if you'd like to go volunteer at Lavina Laurie or with a school that are struggling, they don't have a lot of science people to help out. And that's helped me gain skills of working with others, or I've had to summarise things for younger children that don't understand what a teacher was saying. You could go down and, because I'm younger, I think they look up to you more. Sometimes it's a bit easier for them to talk to you. It's quite a difference in gender balance. Science used to be quite a lot of male dominated, and now apart from our college is different because it's basically all females in the science department, but we're trying to get a lot of wee girls now want to get into it, and seeing more females around in the science environment sometimes helps. And that's my yes photo, that's my skills. Some of the skills that I've put on, and it gives you graphs and tells you where to analyse your information. You can put the skills from outside your work, so you can say other and say where I've got them maybe just at home that I didn't know about. It helps you identify the skills, so maybe I didn't know how to focus, but I didn't tell you, you've probably done that, and a lot of the college lecturers help you out with it. And it's all personal, it's all my own, so we all do it. It's no one else's work, so you can do whatever you want in it and it just gets checked off. So, in the future I'd like to continue with my apprenticeship, which finishes in next December. And I'd maybe consider going to the HND, but I don't know for sure, because if I don't know if I want to go to uni, or I could go into work with my SVQ level 3 after this. Thanks.
And last but not least, we have Kim. This is fine.
Hi there, good afternoon. So I'm Kim Hamilton, and I've just completed my HND in Biomedical Science, and I've been asked here to come here today to present to you all and talk about my educational journey as a mature student. So my transition, I left school quite young, and I was offered a job in Misco, an IT company, and my role there was a studio assistant. So I was working hands-on with the photography equipment, learning new technical skills all the time, and just streamlining photography, liaising with vendors and the web team to populate the website and the catalogue that we produced. So it was a good job, and it was different every day, and it was, like I say, it was technical, interesting, but it wasn't enough for me. I always knew that I wanted to get back into college, and during my 8 years there, I applied for evening classes in human biology and psychology. And this is where I found out this is exactly what I wanted to do. I knew where my career was going to go. So when I left work, I went straight into college. I was quite happy that I was accepted onto the HNC programme, and although it was quite daunting, like I say, as a mature student, I wasn't used to writing essays again or designing my projects. So it's definitely made a huge impact. So I've developed a variety of skills because of this, and they've not only helped me in my immediate future in science, but I do appreciate that they'll be very valuable when I go on to my long-term employment. So my college experiences, I've learned new skills all the time, especially practical development and designing experiments, written and evaluating my work as well. The relationships you have with the curriculum team, you're treated like an adult, you're spoken to and respected, and you do have a responsibility for your own learning. So it is a lot. You're continually developing your motivation for your subject to keep you going through, your self-discipline to get you through exams, and focus on all your studies as well as a whole. You do have an input in the curriculum as well regarding assessment times, because they appreciate you've got all these different classes and you've got exams coming up all the time, so they make sure that you're involved. So you don't have 2 assessments in 1 week, just things like that that make a huge difference to your learning. And obviously the amount of life experience you get. We have site tours as well, so we've been to the haematology lab in the Inverclyde Royal, the RAH, we've also visited there, and it's been great. Even the Life Technologies in Shannon, we've given a tour around there, and you do get such, it's very gratifying to see the science progression and the careers that are available to students. So the opportunities that I've got are just, it's been fantastic. So the Nuffield project, this is where thousands of students apply for this, and it actually took place in Glasgow University. So this was last summer, and it was a 6-week practical investigation. Mine was on food microbiology, and you're paired up with a lab partner, so you've got to learn how they work, adapt to their methods of teaching, and definitely have a strong idea of the teamwork involved to get through it. And it was a fantastic experience, and I was invited to the Royal College of Physicians in Edinburgh, where I was presented with the Nuffield Award. I've also got the opportunity that I've been able to work with the college as well. That's been fantastic, and it's like a feedback role, so you're working directly with students, creating focus groups with them, and getting their idea of their learning and teaching experience. And that's helped not only to have empathy with them over certain issues that have been arisen, but to potentially deal with those and get them addressed as soon and as efficient as possible. So it does, you're continually developing these skills in communication, and just, it's been great. And regarding the CREST Award, the 70-hour lab practical from our graded Unit 2, which was on comparative proteomics, where I was testing the evolutionary relatedness between fish muscle proteins. So I've had such a hands-on experience using new technology all the time, and it's just benefited me greatly. Other opportunities has been through the STEM Ambassador. So these are some of the things I've done as a STEM Ambassador since November. So the NASA programme, I only actually realised that was a STEM event. When I became STEM Ambassador, I was just too delighted to even consider it. But it was brilliant, and that's Dr. Julie Keeble there, one of the NASA scientists, and I still keep in touch with her over different aspects of they just look progression and discoveries in science. It's great to have that networking aspect of it as well. And the Connects challenge and Lab and a Laureate, it's all been really hands-on, all working with students, motivating them, getting them enthused about science, getting them to realise that there are fun ways to express yourself through science as well. And the forensic science, that was just, what a laugh we had. Thumb fingerprinting and the blood spatter, so who done it? You know, just by the way the blood splatter faced and things. And obviously working with the community, it's been hugely rewarding. It was getting the girl guides their science patches, so it was a fake poo experiment in human metabolism. But they loved it, and by the end it was who wants to be a scientist, and it was 2 hands up. So you get a lot of output out of it. Sorry. So the skills I've developed, again, as Grant's created this system, and it's absolutely fantastic, and it shows you ways where you need to progress, where you need to build up. So to get yourself into a kind of rounded individual with confident individuals, successful learners, responsible citizens and effective contributors. So these things that you maybe wouldn't, you would take for granted, I guess, until they're put down in front of you and you're shown that, oh wait a minute, you have developed this, and it makes you see yourself how you're progressing through your education just by going along to things like this, or getting involved in STEM programs, or helping your classmates with their homework. You know, it definitely makes a huge difference. And with the training as well that's involved in that, so you're developing vocational skills and industrial certification as well. This was optional, but having that opportunity, yeah, you're going to take it. And it's that this industrial certification is what all science technicians need to work in that kind of industry. And the training, the good lab practice, GMP, your fire safety, your health and safety, all these things are transferable skills when you go on to employment. And it can make you stand out. So these are the 4 categories. Now, I've realised that I need to work on things like confident individuals and responsible citizens, but it makes you see that the things that you are actually making a difference in. And it's been fantastic, especially when you're doing projects and you're highlighting things like your practical application, and as in my job role, having empathy for other students and communication, of course. And it's been hugely beneficial, especially when writing your CV too. So my future prospects, so I want to obtain my degree in biochemistry with microbiology. So thankfully, after finishing my HND with success, I've been accepted into the uni, and it's just delighted to go into 3rd year at that. And potentially I want to work as a research scientist. This is where I feel like I thrive more in this environment. So. And obviously continue with the STEM Ambassador. You only have to do 1 a year, but it's just so rewarding. You just fire in for everything, it's great. So if I was to put away some takeaway points from this, it would be to embrace the opportunities available to you. And these have only been available to me because I've attended college. And it's just so, I keep using the word, but it is so gratifying, and it's been such a huge inspiration as well. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you listening, and
So thanks a lot, Jason, Amanda, Kim. I thought the presentations were outstanding. I know there was a wee bit of nervousness coming into the room, but no need for it. That was outstanding, first class. I've seen many a presentation in my life, and I was switched on from the very beginning to the very end, and you come out with some really key points. Before we put you under any kind of grilling or anything, I just want to go to the panel on 2 points, or two directions. One, on what you heard there, and 2, if there are any questions you'd like to direct to the the college folks before we open up to the public at large. Personally speaking, I'm so happy that you guys came here and you've gone through what you've been through. I mean, that 8 years in Miss School Limited, was it? And then turning it around to where you are now is just stunning. I mean, it really is unbelievable. And Jason, it made me kind of angry to, you know, you're absolutely right. I've got kids galore, you know, from 46-year-old to 5. Some were adopted, by the way. The fact that, you know, you said something along the lines of school is just knowledge based, and you gain more skills in college than you did in all your school history. I mean, it was so frustrating to hear that. You're right, and that's where I think we really need to make a difference and make a change. And the same with Amanda. You said things like you found the schooling intimidating versus being encouraged in college. You know, that's what we should be doing from day one. And we're going to work hard with CBI through the manifesto and education with the government to try and cascade that type of feeling back into the primary schools to all the way through. So I'd like to open it up. Any thoughts here on what you'd like to talk to the panel and to the students with?
First of all, well done. I think you know, I work in the college sector, and I think what you painted is what college is all about. It's about making it real, really. And I know colleges do that really well, but there's always room for improvement. I think back to that bit, and it's not about the learners. It's actually about the staff. I think often colleges need to be brave and courageous to do what West College Scotland has done, and keep pushing the boundaries to make learning real. Because I think the realer and more authentic the learning is, then the more transferable all the skills are into the workplace. So I really enjoyed all the presentations. That was great.
I think the thing that struck me was just your modesty. I mean, I think there's a kind of throwaway line that I'm going into the 3rd year of a university degree, and that's a story that can be retold across Scotland. It's such a good story, and all of you have that kind of opportunity now, if you so wish, to open it up into an academic or work-based career. And I think, that's why I went into FE all those years ago, because that's an FE story. I think to redress the balance, there's a huge amount of evidence that schools are now working very hard alongside colleges to make sure there are authentic and different routes for learners who are not going to go straight to university, but maybe want to take a different kind of route, a different kind of journey. And that's happening all over Scotland, and we're seeing some schools now offering HNC programmes or part of an HNC, and that idea, and it's a North American idea, of do part of your college course while you're still at school. And I think that's, for many young people, a really good route. And it's just lovely to see you blossoming. Thank you.
I have to say there are a few flashbacks for me. I went to a school which was just only rated people on academic qualification, and at the end of my 6 or 7 years there, I was bottom. I was the worst performer in the school, and it wasn't until actually I moved into an environment where things began to make sense by putting it into a work context that I felt that my confidence began to change. So it was taking me back a number of years. There are 3 features that stood out for me. Jason, you talked about how your experience was designed around the needs of you as an individual, rather than getting a sense that everybody's just going through the same formulaic process. Amanda, you talked about how, as part of what you're doing, you're also giving back, which, as much as you might not want to work with kids, there was definitely a real sense of that. And Kim, it really struck me that, again, it's in terms of the design of the process, it was being designed and influenced and developed by people who were closest to the customer or the end user. And I think if you applied those 3 principles to any form of development, then you wouldn't go too far wrong.
I loved it, all 3 of you, thank you very much. Kim, I have to tell you, I ditched every science subject in year 3 and went on to do languages, but if anyone would have convinced me to stick with it, would have been you, I have to tell you. I just love, I think the fact that 3 stories are so different and so personal. And I just really like the fact that, you know, Jason, we had the, you know, went off and been a labourer, but something for some reason made you think, there's something in me that's not been brought out enough and I want to go back and find it properly. I thought that was a really powerful story. And Amanda, you know, I think there was lots of early kind of warnings for you, lots of things popping up that you were very good at. But you said, I think very eloquently, when you were sitting in an exam hall in those kind of conditions, that was it. And it didn't work for you. But this whole kind of system through college, and Kim, I think you would probably have always wanted and gone on to do what you wanted to do, whatever, but you were clearly very well supported in doing that. I'd like to, through Grant, say that we'd love to write you up as 3 case studies for our website, because we have learner journeys and we like to try and show quite different ones each year. So if you 3 would be willing to be up on our website as ambassadors for what you do, I'd love to have you there.
I would like to open it up now to the audience at large, either directly to the panel or to the students, you know, what you took from that, and maybe towards, as we continue the debate or the discussion, if we could find 1, 2 or 3 things that we learn from this or we take from this that we would like to go and push hard on to change the system. It might take years, it might not, but we'd like to get some. We'd like to show that we heard what we heard from here is not falling on deaf ears, and that we're going to go and put it into practice. So, any questions?
I love the journeys; they're great. And you know, one of the things that the subtext here is the condemnation of prior education, which has been addressed there. That you were not motivated to go on and do this at first because of your earlier experience. So one of the things that I'd love to hear from you, from others, is what ought to change prior to the college piece. But the other part of it is there's an expression that people get hired for their skills and knowledge and fired for their character. And I'm not sure where to place these soft skills as the way they're talked about here. Because some of the kinds of skills you're talking about that you guys say that you each picked up sound like they're the kind of skills that people get hired for.
Yeah.
That I know how to communicate, I know how to do this, and so on. The firing comes from more the moral skills, that I'm not responsible, I'm not respectful, I can't be trusted. And that's what people in industry say all the time, that these youth are coming into our workplaces and they don't have those kinds of skills. So the real question for me, because I don't know your system, so this YES model, I don't know what this is. It sounds like the skills you're saying you got just by having applied experiences, by having to have worked with others on a team, or having to have to go out and present stuff. But I'm not hearing that there was a curriculum or an emphasis to teach the skills. So maybe that's there, maybe that's not. Where did you get this? And what has happened earlier on and happens now at the college level to help you be more moral, to be responsible, to be honest, to be caring, to be respectful? Because that's the stuff we usually do in the primary and secondary education, at least in the US. Universities, colleges don't focus on that stuff. So in some ways, you flipped the rhetoric for me here and got it backwards. So my head's kind of spinning. I'm confused. I need more information. What could happen prior to college that you'd like to see if you could change it? What changed your skills at the college level? And is there an emphasis on these kinds of socio-moral skills about how to be a good person and a good colleague, rather than just be effective?
I'll answer just for the skills bit. The YES portal, it's getting showcased tomorrow in the open space to come and see the portal. My background's outdoor education and sport, so there was lots of fantastic soft skills, those skills you learn about responsibility and trust. And we never captured that. We never gave an opportunity to capture that. So when I came out of sport and when it became the head of essential skills, I needed to look at distance travel. skills are the students developing, and they don't realise in a classroom situation that you are developing all these skills. So what we gave them was a little tool that highlighted 40 skills that related to the 4 areas of curriculum for excellence. Now there are soft skills in there, empathy, integrity, etc., etc. The research was done a lot at Govan High School and through industries as well with CBI. And because it was when I asked the students what skills, and you mentioned citizenship skills or soft skills, or they didn't know. So I kind of gave them, here's the skill and here's a description. And what they have in their guidance slot, they have an hour where they can reflect on what they've learned over the whole week within the college. Now we've merged colleges. Previously, before that, James Watt, we had 50,000 skills added by students. Now, some of those skills weren't, and it's a self-reflection, it's what the students are saying, not what the staff are saying. The students are saying, these are the skills I think I've developed in this class. And you can drop down, and staff can then also look at what skills are developing. They can look at the curriculum. If we're not developing this skill of leadership, how can we change our curriculum? Because what we found in some of our lower NC courses in ICT, the skills of ICT, the students didn't feel they were developing because they were coming with that skill already. So the ICT changed the curriculum and enriched some of the units, or brought in harder units, at a level 5 instead of a level 4. So it gives information to staff as well. So it's been piloted in 3 other colleges as well, which is nice to see. But it's something that students don't realise. I kind of have the conversation with industry to say students coming out of university and colleges don't have these skills. I think they do have the skills, but they don't have the narrative to explain. They take it for granted. They don't have that narrative to explain, these are the skills I've developed while I've been here. And I would like, I'm just a way to run a pilot in a high school on these softer skills as well, and looking at this skills portal and trying to capture what they're doing, because it would be fantastic if we could capture the skills and the skills conversations that should be happening in every class. Every teacher is a teacher of skills through a certain knowledge or a content. And that's what we kind of brought to the college, is something different, of they sit down and reflect, either at the end of a lesson or within this 1 hour guidance slot.
But one thing I'd pick up in the US, I lived in California in the mid-90s and then again 2 years ago, and then Reno, Nevada for a few years. And in the mid-90s I had a 9-year-old stepson, and we put him into the school system in Sunnyvale. And the confidence that was coming out of the kids at that age in America was just stunning compared to what we had here. And the way that they portrayed even homework. I remember him coming home in the second week, and he was stumped with his particular homework and asked what it was, and he said, they've told me I'm a tree, and you have to tell them tomorrow how I feel about it.
When you were in California.
I mean, you'd never get that in West Calder.
You know what? I lived in Dundee when my son was 9.
Right.
He went to Craigie Barnes Primary School, and we had to work hard to get him to catch up to the level of the other kids.
Yeah, I give you that.
Way behind what he was getting in the US education.
I give you that.
So
Academically, there is a different balance, but I'm talking more on the personal and the confidence and what these kids have been doing. Any other questions or thoughts?
I suppose we need both, don't we, Hugh? We need the
Both,
we
it's
need
finding the balance.
we need that skill thing about the job. We want people to do the job, but we want all these other things, and it's a difficult balance to get right.
No, it's complex.
Absolutely.
It's very good, and we'll come back to that.
Sorry.
When you go.
I was just going to ask about the tool, this yes tool. Very interesting. You said it's the students that sort of self-evaluate. What if there's a skill that you, for example, as a lecturer or the tutor think they're really good at, but they don't recognise that in themselves? Is there scope for that?
Yeah, there's a staff portal as well, so you
Yeah.
can attach yourself to the class, your class group, and you can look at the skills, and you can facilitate at the start,
Yeah.
because the students aren't used to self-reflection. In high school and primary school, there's not a lot of that. In primary schools have it better.
Years, though.
Yeah, in primary schools they have a
In the
lot
early
of
years, I'm
better.
talking nursery.
But in high schools, it's not the greatest. So it's changing our culture, changing the staff culture as well, giving them the staff freedom, because some of the staff were saying, I didn't see that skill, and they're not good at that skill. I'm not saying they're good at the skill, what I'm saying is they're developing those skills. Yeah, they're going through a development process of these are the skills we're developing while they're doing it. There is a staff portal you
But
can
if the
go in.
student thinks that they're not so good at something, but you can see it in
Yes.
them, you can have that.
We encourage staff to have a skills conversation at the start of a lesson. Highlight 3 skills you might think you might develop. and staff, some do it, some don't. They write down 3 skills are part of the aim of the objective of the lesson, and then some of them build a skills cloud up during the lesson. They write up, because every time a student feels they've developed a skill, they can take the pen and go and write it up there, so they can get a skills cloud for the lesson as well. But the students and the portal can see their skills cloud, they can see if they're a rounded individual linked with Curriculum for Excellence, so it's quite a complex tool. There's lots in it. You can create tasks for students, etc., for skills development. If they feel they're lacking a skill, the staff can then create a task to see, here's an opportunity that they might be able to develop this skill.
Could I ask a question? Because you all in your learner journey talked about the skills that you developed, and some of those were technical skills and you explained those, but they were also the kind of skills that you were saying, the hiring skills. So you all talked about things like communication skills, leadership skills, working with others. I think Jason mentioned psychomotor skills, analytical skills. So my question to each of you, if that's okay, is if you went back to before college and you were applying for a job in McDonald's or in Misco or the labouring job or whatever, and someone had asked you at interview what soft skills, essential skills, employability skills that you had, would you have been able to answer that? And then the second part is, would you feel quite different about that now? Jason?
Yeah, I probably would be. I would be able to do it, yeah, because it's I don't know, just actually being